Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Scribes and Scrolls, the Candlekeep Mysteries. This is Book 2, Mazfroth's Mighty Digressions, Chapter 8, Journey to Baldur's Gate. This is, yeah, it sure is. This is our ongoing and relatively new Dungeons & Dragons campaign happening every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/Mini Terrain Domain. I'm going to jump right to the domain tomes because Dwight has the meta subscription, the resub for 25 months, and D&D Jordan Lee, who is not able to join us tonight, but is with us in spirit, has gifted out a tier 1 community sub as well. So the domain tomes, let's see, that puts you up to 32. So I'm going to take a couple away, and then I'm going to change this number here. Domain tomes are a way that you, the audience, can influence this game. The domain tomes, the magical books that sit up in that spot where Jordan would be, just up above there, the players can use those for 1 tome, they can gain advantage on a dice roll. For 3 tomes, they can re-roll, or for 5 tomes, they can force me to re-roll. And I think we've used all of the options at various times during this game so far. But the only way they get those tomes is from you cheering 500 bits, tipping $5, or gifting or resubbing or subbing to the channel, which helps to support the channel as well. So we thank you for that. Really quickly, take a look down below Dwight. You'll see a couple of icons, a couple of logos for Talon and Claw and Run Right Play. Talon and Claw is, of course, our channel sponsor, makers of fine wooden dice accessories, and t-shirts and other such things that you can get simply by typing !MTD Claw in the chat. That'll bring up a link to the Etsy store. While you're there, use code MTD Claw to get 10% off of your purchase. You can also do !RWP to check out our friend Keel over at Run Right Play. His Patreon that is geared entirely towards collaboration with other creators. He puts out a monthly zine and works really hard on making that content be available. It's a really cool thing, all the way from the PDF version of the zine through. He actually makes a printed version of it for his top tier Patreons or patrons. So please do check that out and support him over there. And you can check out the current issue to find myself and Dwight in there, among many other awesome people, for our mini painting and terrain work. So be sure to check that out. As always, you can type in !Jasper or !Coffee and have a link to support the our partner Jasper's Game Day, or you can support them by purchasing Metadad Roast Coffee. $3 of every purchase goes to support Jasper's Game Day in their suicide prevention work that they do. Or below the stream, there are some panels that you can click on as well. Of course, I was going to have Jordan do this, but since she's not here, I will tell you about this Friday, actually all weekend long. Jordan is hosting a charity event that I think it's called Games for Change. That completely escaped me. I know the charity is for Color of Change. I will be running a game at 8 p.m. over on D&D Jordan Lee for some amazing people, including Jordan. And I will be playing a game on Sunday afternoon. Dwight, are you involved in some games over there this weekend?
I'm modding. I've got a lot going on this weekend, so I'm not able to play like I wanted to, but yeah.
But yeah, be sure to check it out. If you can, stop by and donate. Jordan and Jordan's amazing community will be doing everything they can to raise some money for Color of Change. So stop by for that. The last thing that I want... Oh, wait. There's another charity event going on this weekend that I should let Gary tell us about.
This Saturday night on Talon and Claw's Twitch channel, we are doing a Flip Flop and Chop adventure, raising money for Jesse's Journey, our charity partner, and it's going to be great. That's all you need to know. You should come and watch it.
Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about real quick before we start playing some Dungeons and Dragons is the ever important message that we always tell you before we start playing is that you matter. You make a difference. We say it every time because it matters and you matter, and we want you to know that. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to struggle, but you do not have to struggle alone. We try to do what we can to destigmatize talks around mental health, and just letting you know that you are fully justified in feeling the way you do. But please do, if you haven't already, please do seek help. Whatever that may be that you're going through, you can come here to twitch.tv/mini-terrain domain any time of day or night. Doesn't matter if we're on air or not. Come into the chat and just type !help. It's that simple. And when you do so, a URL will show up for findahelpline.com. Follow that and put in where you are from in the world, and a whole bunch of resources will pop up for various mental health services, lifelines, phone lines, web pages, whatever you might need. So please do check that out if you are struggling, because we care about you. All right, with that, I think it's time to play some Dungeons and Dragons. We are going to continue with our ongoing campaign. Most recently, these recent new additions to Candlekeep arrived, and within a matter of hours found themselves entangled in a mysterious disappearance of one of the sages, finding themselves briefly trapped in a Mordenkainen's magnificent mansion, having to puzzle their way out, fighting all of the books and furniture that were animated, trying to kill them, chairs and books and swords and all kinds of goodies. Mischievous fairy dragons.
Did we fight anything living in that place?
The mimic.
Aha, the mimic.
But it did start out as a chair.
True. Good point.
You fought a broom. So, yeah, but they did eventually find their way back out of the mansion, back into the study room, where they found the sage Matreus dead, killed by an imp, a figurine he had brought with him that broke free of its enchantment and killed him. They killed the imp. They were witness to a special memorial service that was put on by Candlekeep, where they met great reader Telis Avoste, whom they also met with following the memorial service to discuss working as sanctioned investigators for the library for the cost, or rather the retaining fee of 75 gold pieces per month, or 25 gold pieces a week, essentially, per dende. During which time they brought out a book that Teera had recently come into possession from within the library, called Mazfroth's Mighty Digressions. Mizya was looking through the book, and while reading a particular essay, the book transformed into an ectoplasmic orb that began to attack everyone and very nearly killed Mizya, one-shotting her into unconsciousness. And once it was defeated, Vorn declared, "Yeah, we're gonna need 85 a month."
Forgot about that.
Correct.
And that is where we left off.
Always be closing.
And you have been told by Telis Avoste that your handler will continue to be the tiefling Avowed Irony. In addition to your pay, they will provide you with some basic equipment that you might need to aid you in your investigations, and that as much as possible, the Candlekeep's resources will be available to you in figuring out why this book turned into this thing and where it came from. Before you begin to make plans for where you're going and why you're going, Irony does have some information for you. After Tellus of Alste excuses herself, Irony tells you that this is not the first book to do this. This is actually the third book to transform here at the library like this. The other two books were, and they pull out a small sheaf of parchment where they've taken some notes. The other two books were The Dark Hunger, a book about a powerful entity served by star-fearing warlocks, and Fallen Tethiamar, about a dwarf king named Gelin who sought to reclaim his kingdom in the Desert Mountains. All three of these books have been used to gain access to Candlekeep within the last 2 months. I was able to look through the libraries of the avowed priests, or rather the papers of the avowed priests at the gate. They do keep track of all works that come into the library and who provided them. Of these three books, two of them, the individuals who brought them here to Candlekeep are still here. Mazfroth's Mighty Digressions was brought by a Walterdavian scholar by the name of Yalarian High Scroll. And The Dark Hunger was brought here by a tiefling knight by the name of Valor. I have put both of those in the chat for you.
Thank
spelling.
you. I'm taking furious notes. My hand's cramping up.
Both Valor and the Yolarian High Scroll are still here at the library. If you would like to speak to them, we can arrange for a meeting. Otherwise, if you have any other ideas on how you'd like to look into what is going on with these books, please let me know if I may be of service.
Yes,
So-
I would like to go to the quartermaster's office.
Doc, why the quartermaster's office?
Won't the quartermaster have the things that we need to travel?
Oh, yeah. Teera kind of like chuckles and like gestures over her shoulder at her pack, which looks pretty ready to go. It's like, yeah, I guess some of you will need some stuff for the road.
Doc looks down at his satchel and the thieves' tools inside of it. Yes, I might need a thing or two.
I look at Irony and I'm like, the third book, the one that the person's not here anymore, but do you know who left that one? You said only 2 people.
One moment. I am
Buffering.
yeah.
It's all right if you don't know. I mean,
I can find that information out if you would like. The person was no longer here.
right. It's not urgent. I was just curious.
And we of course don't track where people go, so
No.
I figured the most important would be the 2 that are here in Candlekeep.
That makes sense. That's okay. Well, all right, boys. And Asaria's here too. Sorry, I couldn't see Asaria for a second. It was weird. we should go to the quartermaster, get our stuff, get ready for the road.
I would remind you that the knowledge of traveling to the road is meta knowledge at this point. Only because we talked about it outside of the game. But you actually don't have a place to go right now.
They have not given us a job yet. That's true.
Well, you have to figure out. You have to figure out where you might be traveling to, and for what reason.
So, Yularian and the Tiefling Knight are both here at the campus. Is that correct?
Yes, this is correct.
Okay. I look over at Mizya and I say to them, who do you think we should speak to first? Being that it was the book attacked you, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. I think Mizya's due to make a choice here. They've earned it.
You want me to decide where?
Well, I think you would provide a little more insight than our wild guess at who to speak to first.
I mean, you can speak to both of them.
Would I recognize either of these names from my studies at all?
No, they're individuals that are here at Candlekeep, so
they're not anybody of any renown or anything.
No.
Okay.
Well, this one named Vala. I don't like that name. So let's stop there.
Why don't you like that name?
It just seems presumptuous.
Do you think they gave that name to themselves?
Most likely.
Oh.
Or parents with poor taste.
We should ask them.
Yeah, we should.
Irony, a tiefling who is standing nearby, just shifts uncomfortably from foot to foot. Well, I'm going to go now. Doc, if you would like to, you or anybody would like to see about outfitting yourself, you can head up near the Emerald Door. To the north of it, in that corner of the Court of Air, is where you will find the erudite clothiers and outfitters.
Thank you.
Well, I think we should not ask them what they want to see next time. Let's just, I guess the Yularian, is that?
Yeah, Yularian High Scroll.
I can arrange to have Yularian meet you at the hearth. Valor is already at the hearth, doing a little bit of work.
That's perfect. I could use a drink. Let's go.
Is it like, what time is it, by the way?
8 a.m. Sorry.
No, it's early afternoon.
Okay.
I would actually even say it's probably into the evening. Mizya's had time to get healed up and rested.
Okay.
From all of you are rested up from your dealings with the with the Gings Watson. And you I would say it's later in the day enough so that if you do decide to travel today, you'll be traveling into the night. Otherwise, you can get everything ready, and if you end up going somewhere, leave in the morning.
I say let's go to the hearth and grab something to drink and definitely something to eat. And let's see if we can talk to the knight, the Valor Knight, and the Yularian High Scroll.
All right.
Right before we walk away, I lean to Irony. I said, I think you have a cool name.
Thank you. So at this point, you are all at the House of Rest, sort of in the common area. Of course, the hearth is right next door, and as you head outside and start heading over towards the hearth, you can actually hear a bit of. It sounds like there's some activity up on the roof, as you hear pounding. And you can actually see, not very far up over the opening of the door, is somebody up on the roof hammering away, replacing some shingles.
Oh.
As you get closer, no rolls are needed. This is the structure. They're not very far up. They're maybe 15, 20 feet away from you. And you do see that there is a very deep red-skinned tiefling that is wearing heavy leather pants. It's a bit cool. In the month of Tarsak, it's sort of early spring, so the air tends to be in the 50s or 60s generally at peak. And right now, despite the coolness in the evening air, they are stripped down to a tank top, as they have a bundle of shingles. There's a ladder nearby, and they appear to be replacing some shingles on the roof.
Has a storm come through lately, or anything that would cause them to need to replace this roof?
It just looks like they're just.
Jesus.
Right?
Did you just?
Yeah.
Ricky's word brain just intruded on his RPG
Insurance
brain. Yeah.
adjuster.
Yeah, jeez, I'm sorry.
We have not had hail over 3/4 of an inch in the last 365 days.
Good to know.
Nobody's filing a claim. They're just doing general
Both of
repairs.
these two got frickin' insurance on the brain. Just ignore them.
My goodness.
That was
There's
hilarious.
one person, maybe one person out there that knows.
I love
Oh
it.
my God. I call up to the tiefling. Oi! You wouldn't happen to be who was supposed to be here already? Was it Valor?
Valor.
You wouldn't happen to be Valor, would you? Not a ton of tieflings running around.
You see that as they turn around, you see that it is they are a female tiefling. Not very old, actually, early 20s. Muscular, broad-shouldered, a bit of a furrowed brow, and they kind of brush some sweat and hair out of their face, still holding the hammer. As they look down, before they answer you, they stand up on the roof. It's not a very steep slope, but they stand up to their full height, looking down at you. Who is asking?
Well, my name's Teera. This is Vaughn. This is Mizya. This is Doc. And this is Asaria and the puppy. We just
And Frank.
Oh, and Frank, the flower pot, of course. I almost forgot about Frank. Sorry, Frank. We've just been assigned to check some things out, investigating like, and we got your name as a person of interest. And I kind of look over at Vorn. I'm like, huh? And so we just wanted to ask you a few questions, if it's you.
That was a lot of words. I am Valor.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll talk if you're buying a drink.
Oh, Teera like reaches into her pockets and like turns both of them out, up like inside out. I have no money. I look over at Mizya, at Vorn.
I will buy drinks.
Hey, Mizya's buying drinks.
Hey, Mizya's
Hey!
Well, then Mizya might be my new best friend, as she
I don't do.
she slips her hammer into a pouch, grabs a tool bag, and moves over to the ladder, quickly descending. And as she comes down here, you see that she is about 6 feet tall. and carries herself with a very she's got a very athletic build. Seems like, well, she was described as a knight, and you can see why.
It seems a very cheap price to get a best friend for just one drink. Is that normal?
Yeah, nobody said anything about being best friends with everybody.
Well, but
It's
even
more
being
of it's more of a figure of speech.
a figure of speech. No, but you did say you'd be best friends with Mizya. It's not very expensive. Is there something wrong with you?
Vorn puts his, just kind of like looks and he's like, Doc, it's. Teera, aren't you supposed to be?
Yeah, Doc, it's not really going to be. Listen, Vala here isn't really going to be Mizya's best friend. She was joking, kind of, you know? Just like buddy, you're going to be my best friend. You buy me a drink. Not really gonna, but she likes a good drink.
I guess I misunderstood because I was given the impression that jokes are supposed to be funny.
Wow.
Oh my, shh. Doc, how about we go inside and get that drink? Mizya, we'll be at the bar waiting.
I can't
pull
tell
Doc
if
along.
I can't tell if I like you or not.
Is this the tiefling?
Yeah, she says that to Doc.
Valor, right? It's okay. You know, Doc tends to take things a little more literal in terms of their literal meanings. He's harmless. Trust us.
Right. I mean,
How about that drink? You want a large? What do you pint, quart? What are you thinking?
A gallon.
Gallon, liter,
large and strong.
a bucket.
Large and strong. I too will have the bucket. And I am kind of at this point, I'm like trying to just keep myself between Doc and Valor, just to kind of like gently shuffle Doc away so we don't get into a fist fight. Oh God.
So they sit down at the table, and eventually Mizya, if you're buying drinks for everybody, that's going to be about a total of about 2 gold.
I will put 2 gold and 1 piece of copper down.
That's a tip.
Big tipper.
Mizya tips 10%. Not even. What is?
I was going to say, that's like 0.0.
That's like 1%.
Yeah,
That's like 0.5.
So
Miss, why bother? I take 3. Well, yeah, I'm just gonna let it stand.
I look at Mizzy. I'm like, you know, they lose money if you don't tip at least 20%, right?
well, she takes the mug of ale that's been set before her, and she takes a big
Oh my God.
You have until that's empty to ask me questions.
We heard that maybe you brought a book to Candlekeep here, and that's how you got in.
That's how everybody gets in. You are a real crack investigator.
Easy. I thought we still were going to be friends here.
I guess that's up a little straighter.
I would like you to roll a persuasion check with advantage because of the purchased alcohol.
16.
Anyway, go on. She seems to settle in, willing to at least listen to what you have to say.
Anyway, turns out that after the fact, that book transformed into something quite deadly. You wouldn't have happened to heard about that, would you?
Oh, good. Another one.
Another one? What do you mean another one?
There's been 3.
3? Now, I'm only responsible for the book that I brought.
Yeah, I know. We're not sending anybody to jail here. Just asking a question. The
Look,
book you brought, which one was that again?
it was The Dark Hunger.
Mm.
Look, I don't even go in for that kind of thing. It's all about some star god that warlocks are all scared of, but I don't know. All I know is it looked unique and original. The place where I bought it, they said that it was a one-of-a-kind book. And I figured, well, that's going to get me into Candlekeep, because I needed to get in here. Of course, turned out to be a fake, turned into some kind of gooey monster. And here I am, needing to do my research, but the book I brought isn't really a book. So...
Is that why they got you fixed?
Yeah, I've been doing a little bit of odd work here and there, trying to make up for the fact that what was supposed to be a valuable work turned out to be
Monster?
crockadookie.
So are you in debt to the library here? You owe a library fee?
Yeah, kind of like that.
Where you say you purchased this book? Where did you find it?
Good question.
I got the book up in Baldur's Gate. There's a in the upper city area of Baldur's Gate, there is a market called the Wide. Now the upper city is all fancy people, but the Wide is a market stall that they let anybody in during the day, and they sell all manner of stuff. And there was a stall there. I don't know. I didn't want to stay there too long. As soon as I saw the books, I grabbed it. I just know that it was not exactly the most reputable part of the market. I don't remember what the place was called. The place reeks of greed, man. I don't like being in there.
Could you tell us where it was in Baldur's Gate?
Again?
It was at the Wide. The marketplace.
But is that all the detail you can provide? With
I
no name?
don't exactly remember the name of the stall, and maybe it's not even there. These stalls pop up and go down. Depends on who pays them to get the prime spot. I don't know.
Do you know who sold it to you?
I was just gonna, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Terry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're very smart, Vaughn. Hell yeah.
Thank you.
No, I don't know who sold it to me. A woman.
What did this woman look like?
I don't know. A human.
Tall, short, color hair, anything. Would another drink help your memory?
If I was targeting her, I'm not holding out on you, man. I just don't know. I wasn't paying attention. Have you ever been up to Baldur's Gate? There are a lot of people up there. And you get into a place like the Wide, and you got all kinds of people mixing in, trying to make money, trying to get money off of all the rich people up there. Look, I'm not one for the big cities, and honestly, I didn't even want to be here as long as I'm here. But
yep.
I got to pay for what was supposed to be entrance in here, and for the research I did for my what I was looking for. All I know is I was ready to go 3 days ago.
Huh.
And that's when they let me know that the book I brought had turned into that, whatever they called it, and killed some wizard homunculus. I guess one of those little clay people they got that do stuff for them. But the wizard killed it, whatever that thing was, before it could hurt anybody else. But apparently it turned into a spider and crawled up the walls and tried to get away.
Ooh.
But once they killed it, no trace of it or the book was left behind. I'm already losing time on this thing. I've got at least another day. Finish up this roof and I should be able to get out of here and continue on with what I was doing.
Yes, well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for the
If there is
ale.
anything that you do remember, we will likely be around. We would appreciate any additional information, seeing as how the third book tried to kill me. We'd like to know if you're trying to find.
And it doesn't
Where
even
it
have
came
to be
from.
like, sorry. Doesn't even
Oh.
have to be what she looked like. Did she talk with an accent? Did she give you a good deal on the book? Was she nice to you? Things like that. You never know what might help.
Point, Teera.
Yeah, I'll think about that. I pretty much told you everything I know. I don't remember. I don't remember a whole lot else. If something comes to mind, I'll let you know. Look, you said you were investigators.
Yeah.
Like I said,
whatever they're gonna call us.
I'm not trying to hold out on you. I'm in investigations myself, more in the acquisition side. I'm a bounty hunter.
Debt collector.
What
Doc
was your
is
last? Was that
Doc-
who you were? Is that why you came to Candlekeep? Were you on the trail of somebody?
Yeah, I was just doing some research, trying to figure some things out about where I might be able to find them, and like I said, I found what I needed 3 days ago. It's putting me, by the time I leave here, I'm gonna be 4 or 5 days behind. Hopefully, I'll be able to find them. Well, hopefully, I'll be able to find them sooner than later. I'm always gonna find them.
Doc is going to glance between Mizya and Valor, and is going to say, since you're best friends now, shouldn't you exchange contact information so you could find each other again at some point in the future?
Mizya looks at Valor with just this kind of.
Oh, I forgot. Mizya thinks you named yourself Valor. Is that true?
Make a charisma check. Straight up charisma.
Oh, straight up charisma, not like persuasion or something. Charisma check is 22.
Well done.
Okay. She just kind of looks at you, not quite able to get the measure of you, and she's just, you don't know a lot about tieflings, clearly. We have our given names that were given to us at birth, but we tend to take on singular names that are aesthetically or descriptive of who we are or who we see ourselves as. I spend quite a lot of time as a purple dragon knight in the Cormyrian army. I've earned my name Valor. That's all you need to know about that.
Doc is going to look at Mizya. Hey, you were right.
Mizya just kind of nods. Yes, Doctor. It would appear so. Well,
All right.
thank you, Valor.
Valor
We
downs
will
the
be on
rest
our
of their
way.
drink. And she gets up and just says, like I said, and this time looking just mostly at Teera and Mizya. If I think of anything else, I'll let you know.
Thanks.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks for the beer.
Don't work
And-
too hard now.
And she slings her tool belt over her shoulder and she heads out.
Well, that was very helpful.
Well,
I guess Baldur's Gate. Yeah.
yeah, we know that it was it's in a wide marketplace, and it was a. Did I hear her right when she said a woman?
It's called
Sort
the
of?
Wide. It said
Wide,
a
jeez.
human woman,
Human woman. Okay.
as if there aren't 10 billion of those in Baldur's Gate.
Right.
Well, we can narrow it down to the ones selling books. and then hope to come that I guess she comes back with some more information for us before we leave.
Well, we
I'll
have
go. Yeah.
Yularian to speak with.
Yes,
Perhaps
true.
they will have more.
True.
It appears as though you simply have to say my name, and I appear.
Yes.
As you are saying that, a looks to be mid to late 20s gentleman with short cropped blonde hair and clothing that looks like it was probably once expensive but is travel worn. He has a pair of round spectacles balanced on the end of his nose as he takes a seat that Valor just vacated. I did not want to be rude and approach as you were apparently already in conversation with somebody else, but as I was approaching, I heard my name, so it appears you are indeed the individuals that Irony said I should talk to. I understand you have some questions.
Did it not look like we were talking to Valor? Why was it an apparent conversation? I don't understand.
I think he was just playing the safe side, dog. Yes, we do have questions. Have a seat. Have a seat. We can talk about it over Mizya. Another ale for the table.
Not buying this one to drink.
Would you buy me another drink, please, Mizya?
Can we put on the tab? We can put it on the tab, right? Right, 85 gold a month.
Mizya is just glaring at this guy with just completely unhidden disgust on her face.
He is just sitting, he is completely aloof. I mean, he's totally relaxed in this seat. He sits down and crosses one leg, with his ankle up across his knee, and kind of has one arm cocked up over the back of the chair that he's sitting in.
Amazing.
You said you wanted something to drink. More drinks over here? I'll take care of it.
Amazing.
Spectacular.
Looks like he's going to be our new best friend. And I elbow Doc, and I'm like, see?
Wait, is he my best friend now?
No.
Yeah, it could
but
be.
What happened to Frank?
Frank is here. Never mind. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
When the wait staff comes by, Mizya's going to order whatever the most expensive drink on the menu is.
It's one of those that's like on fire when it gets to the table.
No, I'll tell you exactly what it is.
Yes.
It's one of those giant, like, margarita glasses that's meant to be like for a table. And it's just a mixture of some fruit juices and some liquors. There's some very colorful fruit skewers in it, and
Swedish fish in the bottom.
You see Mizya is just kind of peeking over the top of the rim of this goblet.
Mizya looks like an elderly person behind the wheel of a car.
Yes,
behind this
just
drink.
barely able.
But I am not going to touch that drink for the entire conversation.
Amazing, dude. Amazing. So I say, we were actually talking to that tiefling about the same thing we're going to ask you about. We heard that you brought a book to Candlekeep here, and that it ended up not being a book. Do you hear anything about that?
Yes. Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate that happened. Irony let me know that, of course, that was not the only person that happened to, so, well, I do feel bad that the book turned into a monster. It sounds like nobody was killed, so no harm, no foul.
Yeah, why don't they have you up working on a roof like Vala there?
I have already taken care of my debt. Oh, I should say that.
I want to insight check him.
Go for it.
I want to know if he did something illicit to take care of his debt. I don't know anything. So sorry, nothing. I'm just kind of Teera just like squints her eyes at him.
This is
And
not my
I-
first time at Candlekeep. I make my rounds through many of the libraries. I've come here to study for a 10-day, which I am halfway through after, well, I have completely exhausted the font of knowledge at the Temple of Ogma in Waterdeep, reading everything they had to read there. Scrolls, pamphlets, books, you name it. I read it. I've read many of the works at Silvery Moon, though not all of them, and I've
Cough.
beginning to make my way through the
Oh.
works here at Candlekeep.
So where did you get that book? Did you get that in Waterdeep too?
No, actually, and while I was en route to Candlekeep, I passed through Baldur's Gate.
I'll be damned.
Well, I
look
had to
around at the other people.
I had to investigate this place in the upper city, known as the Wide. They call it. It's a large, crowded marketplace amongst all the wealthy people there in town, and I found this curious stall in the corner of the market. It was, what is it called? It's Avril Amber. I don't know. It had Dune in the name.
Dune. And something that started with an A, maybe?
Maybe.
Okay. Who sold you the book? Was it a man or a woman?
It was a
Or-
woman.
Non-binary person.
It was a woman, a human woman. Very nice girl. Knew quite a bit about the book she had. We struck up a conversation for a few moments while she was packaging the book for me, and then I made my way out of the market, and well, it was a bit hectic, kind of loud.
Tall, short. What kind of color hair? How would you describe her?
I think she was probably about her height, pointing to Asaria.
Average.
Dark, brownish hair. I don't remember much else. She had sort of an olive complexion to her skin.
Was she young or was she old?
I would put her late 20s, early 30s if I had to put a number on it.
Did she speak with an accent? Anything she say stick out to you?
It was rather difficult to hear over all the hubbub of the Wide. If she had an accent, it was subtle, and I did not detect it.
Well, you've given us a lot already. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Mizya, you're not drinking your drink. Why aren't you drinking your drink?
Mizya just stares right at Valerian across the table from behind their goblet.
No answer, huh? Okay.
Okay, well,
All right.
you've given us a great amount of information, Vaughn. Doc, any other questions for our friend here?
Could you remember anything about what this bookseller was wearing? Clothes? Were they fancy? Were they? How would you describe it? Colorful?
I know they were colourful, but then a lot of people in the markets dress their stalls and themselves quite colourful in an attempt to compete with one another. But beyond that, I couldn't tell you specifics.
Did she have a name for her stand at all? Like what drew you to this stand to buy this book?
The books?
Just the books. That makes sense.
The name of the stand was the books?
No,
the
that's what
books is
drew me to
drove
it. I
him.
said I've tried to recall the name of it, and it's got Dune in the name somewhere, but I don't. Was it Dunefers? Something of the Dune? I don't recall.
I have a question.
Don't recall.
if somebody was to try and walk across the breadth of Faerun, how many steps would it take?
That is a very good question. You know, I do believe that when I was in Waterdeep, at the font of knowledge, I had read a scroll that alluded to somebody in the year 1407 that attempted just such a thing, except they were going from south to north, from the very tip of Kalimshan all the way up to the north of the spine of the world to the Sea of Moving Ice. It wasn't long after they headed north of Neverwinter, they were not heard from again.
Yeah, it's not
Oh.
bad shit up there.
So that's a long way of saying you have no idea.
Misty
Yes.
just kind of just chuckles real briefly behind their goblet.
Right,
Okay.
well, if you don't need me for anything else, enjoy your drinks, and simply head on over to the bindery, where I am often found to be conversing with other scholars.
Are you a
Yes.
scholar? You a scholar yourself?
I am a bit offended that you had to ask me that.
Oh,
Of course
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
a scholar.
okay. Well, I wasn't exactly sure. We just got here a couple. We have been here for 2 days. Is all. Sorry. Anyway, thank you very much for all your help.
Yes. Thank you for your time. I will stand up quickly, and I reach out my hand to shake his hand. But at the same as I'm standing up, my hip bumps the table, while simultaneously I cast and then immediately dispel Mage Hand, pressed against the goblet in his direction.
Oh.
Are you attempting to force the goblet over into his lap?
I am.
Roll me a sleight of hand.
Oh God. Why? You're being such a bully.
That's 10.
He's been very helpful.
Super, like 300% more helpful.
Yes.
Actually, I'm gonna try something. Okay. He actually manages to suddenly put his hand out, and before the large glass completely topples over, much of it does spill, and some of it does spill into his lap. You're successful in that. But he sort of stops it suddenly, and he makes direct eye contact with you, Mizya, as he's standing up.
Oh.
Please be careful. You wouldn't want to waste such a delicious drink. And he gives you this look that you suspect he might know exactly what you did.
He knows.
I
for
stare right back at him. Please forgive an old drow. There. Unsteady hand. It's been my pleasure.
For just a moment, there's this shadow that crosses his face, where you see that this overly nice disposition that he's been putting out might be a little bit of a put on, where it just seems to falter for a moment, and you see this scowl that you might attribute with somebody who is of nobility and used to getting their own way, and he just looks for that moment, and then he's all smiles. Well, as I said, you can find me at the bindery. And he begins to leave. Thank you to Goblin Katie for the raid and the resub. Gonna get you there.
Yay! Thank you, Goblin
Thank you.
Katie.
So, Yularian has left. You've made a couple of friends. Not best friends, but... What would you like to do?
It's
So the
time to go to
drink
the quartermaster's office.
Yeah. Did the drink get spilled?
Oh yeah.
No, not all of
Do
it.
the,
He
Not all
did
of it?
stop
Must
most
know.
of it, but it did spill.
I
And
look over
spill
at
on
Mizya.
him.
I'm like, now that he's gone, are you going to drink that?
Heavens no.
Because if you aren't, I am. It looks freaking phenomenal.
Be my guest.
I take it, and it's not a huge bowl for me. Like I can pretty much, it's a little smaller for me. And I start drinking it. Is it good?
I don't know. You tell me.
I think it tastes, it's very sweet. It is very sweet. So I think Teera probably does have like one sip of it. It's like, oh, I hate it. I hate it. It's not good.
Yeah, there's definitely alcohol in it, but it feels more like an experiment
Oh.
than a true drink. There's
Tastes like freshman year. Oh, okay. Well, boys, we have to decide. And Asaria, I forgot you were there for a second. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't see you. Anyway, we should probably decide where to go. I'm thinking Baldur's Gate, but I think there's two. We could probably go on a sea route or on the land route. Yeah.
Quartermaster's
way.
office.
Or do you think the quartermaster's gonna know? Or the quartermaster's just gonna sell us shit.
No, they're going to give us things.
Oh, yeah. So are we gonna? Do we need stuff for the sea, or do we need stuff for the land? Do we need horses? What are we doing?
I don't care. Although I think the sea is more dangerous for you.
Why? Oh, because we breathe. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you don't want to be trying to breathe under the sea. That's. I mean, not for that reason. I can swim, Doc. Yeah, but anyway,
But what if you can't?
Teera does kind of look down at her armor and sort of like feel it's pretty heavy.
And
That's a good
we'll be
point.
going by a boat, everybody. My goodness.
Well, I know we're not swimming, but what if we fall in, Vaughn? Doc isn't stupid. That's not a bad point, Doc. I wouldn't mind going by land also if I get my druthers.
Definitely.
Yes,
I don't want all of you to drown. I only have so many flowers.
Oh, that's a good
I'm
point.
sure we can arrange for a carriage of some sort.
Marriage.
We could just either ride or we could just walk. It's not,
Mhm.
I mean, it's far, but it's not that
Oh.
far to Baldur's Gate.
Oh,
Mizya,
walk. That's rich.
we could fix you some kind of a dog sled, Mizya, and we can
Ah.
pull you. How about like a rickshaw?
The boat. Let's just go by the boat. Not a good chance we're gonna drown, right? The seas are pretty calm this time of the year.
Vaughn, why don't you want to go by land? You scared of something? You scared of the wolves in the woods?
You know what? No, I'm not Tara, not right now. You know, like almost broke my nose in the house. I just think there's nothing wrong with the boat. It's on the library's dime. We'll get there faster, you know, and now we don't gotta cart around Mizya.
How about this? How about we arm wrestle for it? Doc, Mizya, I want to go by land. Vaughn wants to go by sea. I think you two are split between you. How about we arm wrestle for it?
Absolutely.
No,
Why?
because I want to go by land and you could lose.
I'm not going to lose, Doc. Why do you think I'm going to lose? Look at me and look at him.
Just to clarify, I didn't say you were going to lose. I said you could.
But Doc, listen, and I get close to Doc and I'm like, Doc, it's kind of fun though, isn't it? To not know whether you're going to win or lose and then to find out you win because I'm freaking gonna.
No, that doesn't sound fun at all.
Well,
So wait, Mizya, do you want to go by boat or you want to go by land?
I would just like to go.
so we have two for land, two if by land and one if by sea, and one who doesn't give a shit.
Let me see.
What does Asira want to do?
I'm gonna see what Assyria wants to
Yeah,
do.
what
Yeah,
does
that's what
Assyria want to do? I
Assyria
forgot you were there,
I'm gonna
Assyria,
roll.
Sorry.
I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll a D100. 1 to 50.
So D and Jordan just got to us in the Discord. She votes land.
Oh,
Ah,
oh, she's not a sea dog. Don't you mean wolf? Not a sea wolf.
well, it looks like we're going by land.
Yay.
So that's 3 votes for land, 1 vote for just wants to go, and 1 vote for sea. So
And one very harsh and dramatic conversation later for going by sea.
And so Doc is going to lean into Teera and say, see, isn't just winning more fun?
I push Doc.
And if you
I put my hand on his chest and I push him away from me.
I'm curious to arm wrestle Teera though.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
you absolutely can arm wrestle if you want.
Let's arm wrestle then. Vaughn, I want to show Doc that I would have frickin' beat you. Doc, you watch. Don't miss a second now.
All right, hold on 1 second.
Do I have to?
Yes. It's very exciting and interesting. Sports.
Okay.
I'm gonna check something real quick.
I'm gonna prove something to you. I don't feel like you have confidence in me, Doc.
No, I just don't believe in absolutes. While whether I think you win or lose could be irrelevant, you could lose unless it's impossible. And the only thing that's impossible is pooping off a wall and catching it.
Okay.
What?
Wait.
Doc, that is actually glorious insight. But I still want you to watch me kick Vaughn's ass. Will you do that for me? Because we're friends, and we're really friends.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, glasses are slid out of the way. Space is cleared on the table as Vorn puts on his arm wrestling goggles. And the two of you square up,
Awesome.
gripping each other's hands. That sounded painful.
In real life, I hit my elbow. Ah! It's okay. I'm fine.
All right.
Thumb more? Would you prefer a thumb more?
No.
Strength athletics checks opposed.
Oh, come on. I can't
Get
deal with
Vaughn.
my
What'd you
power
get?
1. I always get a power 1. That's all.
I got a 22.
Did you say you
Yeah.
just rolled a 1?
The natural 1, yeah. +5 though.
So I'm going to let Teera describe how she humiliates you in this arm wrestling.
Okay. Tira's pretty confident in herself, and she like takes Vorn's arm and like just says, "All right, going in 3, 2, 1," and like almost it feels like for those watching, it's almost before 1 is out of her mouth. It's just wham, and you could swear you hear some splintering wood under the table, to the point where Teera lets Vorn go and is like, "Oh shit," and then like looks under the table to see if she broke the table, because she thinks she probably did. It's like at a little bit of a weird angle now.
Yeah.
And
And
he's like,
when she looks under the table, she sees Vorn picking himself up off the ground as fast as he can, because it was almost a wrist throw. And he is like, like he's just picking himself up off the ground as she's looking down. And
Can I try?
You
against me or him?
You.
before Doc says that, you hear this heavy sigh from over by the bar, and Misha turns around and hands 5 gold pieces to the barkeep.
Oh, for the table?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I backed the
for
wrong horse.
Yeah, I would say you see the gold sliding across the table because there was a stack of 10 gold.
Yeah.
And the barkeep just pulls the 5 that was in front of Mizya and
Back to him.
pockets it. Yeah.
I am disgusted with both of you. Doc, yes, sit down. I'll kick your ass too.
Okay.
I have been rolling natural ones for the last 2 weeks.
This is why I love D&D.
It's been longer than that, Vorn.
This investigation just
that.
immediately turned into arm wrestling at the bar.
Sorry.
Don't
All right.
apologize. This is D&D.
Opposed athletics.
Yep, opposed athletics. This will be good.
It wasn't quite as good. What'd you get, Doc? You first.
8.
I got a 17.
Jeez,
more.
beast.
And it's a little bit more of a fight, this one. What does Doc look like when he is straining against Teera? Is it just stone face, or is there any kind of grimace to him? Oh my god. It's just kind of slow. Yes. Just and then eventually I hit Doc's knuckles down under the table. Like, see, Doc, I don't know about absolutes, but I'm pretty damn close, yeah?
No, I don't think that's how that works. But I'm not sure. Because I don't know everything.
You are fucking impossible. And then I go over to the bar and I order myself something big.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. Nothing's okay.
And as she orders herself something, a huge drink, I kind of slide up and I go, "This one's on me.
Oh,
Give me 6 weeks. You know."
6 weeks. You need the training period
Yeah, it's all finger push-ups for the next 6 weeks.
and Rocky montages. I got you.
Exactly.
It's fine.
It's like 2 silver pieces for you to buy her drink.
Okay. Yeah.
Amazing.
Can we go to the quartermaster's office now?
Yeah, give me just a second. Boom, 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 boom.
That's-
And Teera does take it all.
That's
And,
that's a good place for us to take our break. As for
Yay!
about the 8th time, Doc says, "Can we go to the quartermaster's office now?"
to be fair, the first 2 times Doc asked, we didn't know we were freaking going anywhere. So I think those times don't count.
No. They count. We were told we could have any mundane equipment we wanted. Doc knew where he
Oh.
wanted to go.
Oh,
Didn't
that's true.
matter that we were going somewhere.
That's fair. That's fair.
So,
Oh.
Zero, just understand that I'm going to be engaging in random athletic contests, throwing boulders off the side of a mountain, climbing trees, random test of strength.
I will make fun of you constantly.
I can't wait.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take about a 10-minute break. Thank you, everybody who is throwing out subs and gift subs and all that good stuff. We greatly appreciate that. And we appreciate all of you in chat with us. Stick around. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. And we're back. At least Doc, but presumably all of you find yourselves having just entered erudite clothiers and outfitters and clothiers. This is, you can see first and foremost that this shop is dedicated to clothing primarily. You see various sizes of some of the robes, the avowed wear. But there are quite a few other supplies that are available here as well. There is a tall, thin, older human man that is working behind this counter. They've got a visor on, they've got a bald top of their head, but fringes of white hair. They wear like a khaki shirt with sleeves rolled up, a black vest. There's at least 3 or 4 different measuring tapes around their neck. There's scissors tucked into pockets, pencils, more than one, behind their ears, tucked into the visor. And as you walk in, they just sort of glance up and look immediately back down to whatever they're doing across the shop. So what would you like to do?
Doc is going to walk forward, present himself, and say, "Hello."
Oh, yes. Hello.
We're here with a requisition from that guy.
I'm sorry. That guy?
Which guy? What was his name? I don't remember. Anyone?
It was I think it was actually Teles Avoste.
Oh,
yeah.
yes. Tell us of Oste. He told us that we could come and get some. She could come get some mundane equipment.
Yeah. We're heading on a fabulous journey.
Oh, how lovely for you. Teres Voste. Oh, you're the investigators. You're going to be working for Teres. Yes. She came by to let me know that I was to supply you with whatever I could that you request. I will gladly do my best to meet your requirements. What can I get for you?
That is a wonderful question. Thank you for asking.
Oh boy.
I would like 7 sacks, 1 signal whistle, three water skins, 1 whetstone, 1 cart, 3 bags of caltrops, 3 candles, 100 pieces of chalk, 1 crowbar, a grappling hook, a hammer, a healer's kit, 5 clay jugs, 3 steel mirrors, a bedroll, a bell, a blanket, a backpack, 3 packs of 1,000 piece ball bearings, 1 vial of acid, 1 abacus, 1 iron pot, 4 10-foot poles, 20 pitons, 1 shovel, 1 miner's pick, 5 bars of soap, 1 tinder box, and 1 mule who I'm going to name Gary.
I slowly head turn to Vorn as Doc is rattling off this list. Naming the ass Gary. Amazing. Phenomenal.
I tried my
Holy
best
crap.
to keep up with that list.
You're gonna have to rewatch the film.
I wanted to be able to rattle it back off.
Oh, good try.
I did get 7 sacks, 1 signal whistle, 3 meteor yarns, 1 watsaw, 1 cat, 3 cotrips, 7 cans of something, 100 shells. I can't read my handwriting.
I was gonna say I don't remember a cat, but
Doc, just pass him the list. Just give him the list.
we need food as well. Food would help at least us 3.
Why would that help?
Because we need to survive, Doc. You don't
Unless-
breathe or eat, so we need food.
Unless we're just gonna hunt the whole time.
I guess you could include some rations there too.
This would be great. Could we get 7 days worth of rations for 4 people? And then maybe we can hunt a little bit in the meantime,
Five-
Vaughn, if we want anything
5
special.
people and a dog. Wolf.
And a wolf. He can eat. He can find his own food. He's a wild animal. They're really good at hunting. Wolves kick ass.
Point.
While this is everything here like behind a counter, or is it laid out in like a storefront type thing to peruse?
This shop looks to be, as I said, mostly dedicated to clothing. Where he's at the counter is just sort of this smallish, like 8-foot long counter that is almost in the middle. And then there's a ton of space that's dedicated where he does a lot of tailor work. You can see there's tables with an assortment of chairs that almost looks like some kind of a sewing circle. Along the walls are some of the equipment that was requested. I can't tell you exactly which ones without having the actual list in front of me. The candles, the rope, the sacks, that stuff is not going to be a problem. Things like the caltrops, the acid, those he's not going to have. Anything that was related to a cart, a mule, tack, he directs you over to the stables. You would have to talk to somebody over there. But overall, overwhelmingly, he looks over the list and just says, actually, you know what? I'm going to see here. Yeah, he struggled like I did to keep up with. I rolled with advantage and still rolled a 3 both times. You could, yeah. And he slides over a piece of parchment and a pencil for you to write down everything, Doc. Do you write down your list?
Yes.
And then he will go through and start ticking off the various things. If you have that digitally that you can send to me, I can tell you what you can have.
Yeah, I can type it up.
Because some of those items, like I said, like the acid, the caltrops, he's not going to have that stuff. That's a little more specialized. The grappling hooks, he doesn't have. Crowbar, he has. He only has 2 10-foot poles, not 4.
Aw.
Oh.
Well, Doc, we're heading over towards the stables. I think the smithy's over there. We could ask him if he's got 10-foot poles. Don't be heartbroken now.
While
No potions. You could probably find a flask or 2.
well, flask of stuff. So like going through the common mundane items list. There's a lot of like flasks and vials of various substances, but I'm assuming that those are the types of things you just have, like an empty flask maybe, but
Yeah, you could get an empty flask. There's actually a whole shelf with various styles of empty flasks. Because
what I was looking for is the flask with stuff in it, like
yeah, no, you got
fire flasks or those kinds of things.
Yeah, you'd have to put your own stuff in it. What I was getting at is there seems to be quite a selection of drinking flasks. You are at a very large library full of scholars. He seems to do a pretty decent trade in flasks.
Amazing.
While
And pipes.
While Doc is working through the list, Mizya has started to wander around looking through the clothing sections, and there's just this like audible gasp, and Mizya's holding up this this dark purple with gold trim scholar's robes. Yes, looks down at the like the worn frayed edges of their current robes from many years worn at Silvery Moon. Yes, this will do quite nicely. Can you add this to our tab?
Yes, absolutely.
And I assume you'll be able to tailor this to my cut.
How much time do you have?
We're leaving this
15 minutes.
soon. Yeah, like are we leaving right now?
Yes.
It's getting to be into the later in the afternoon towards evening. So if you leave, you're gonna, by the time you get everything around, it's probably gonna be dark.
We should probably
Leave in the morning.
I think leaving in the morning would be
Yeah.
prudent.
Get some good sleep underneath us,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Strike out fresh in the morning.
I'm
Yeah.
sure you'd like to set us off on the right foot for our first endeavor.
I look for something that is like just a hood, like a cloak, will be good enough for me.
Easily done.
Kira kind of already has most of the stuff she needs, so she's looking around and she's like, "Oi, how much is one of those flasks?"
I don't know how much is a flask in the equipment.
I have no idea.
I walk
It's
over to
for-
Doc and I
Depends on
say,
how nice it is.
Doc, I'm curious, just for clarity.
Mhm.
That list is for all of us or just for you?
I mean, if you ask me to use something, I would probably let you.
Okay,
So that's what he was asking, Doc. Thank you.
that's all. Because I don't want to make a duplicate order, and if you, never mind. Thank you, Doc. Appreciate it.
Tira's already filling a flask with something. It's like it's a little small, but it'll do. Thank you.
Yeah, the flasks are they range between 5 silver pieces and 5 gold pieces.
Take 5 silver piece one, please. Don't need to be fancy.
So
Do
you have
we,
your I'm going to go through your list real quick and tell you what you can have. So if you want to make notes, what I'm
I'll
going to
just
tell you
edit
is
this list.
what's that?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to tell you what you can't have.
Yeah, that's
Alright.
easier. I was thinking the same thing.
No pythons. There's no climbing gear here.
What?
2
Okay,
10-foot poles.
Hang on. Okay, yeah, 2 10-foot poles, yeah.
100 feet of rope you can have,
Yeah.
actually.
Mhm.
You can have... Oh, you're in luck. He's got 7 sacks.
Were they swimming?
I get it. Well done. Well done. Well done.
The shovel you can have. The miner's pick you can't have. You can have a whistle. You can have 1 bar of soap. A tinderbox. Water skins are no problem. The whetstone's not a problem. No abacus. No acid. No ball bearings. Backpack, yes. Bedroll, yes. Let's see. Bell. No bell. Blanket, yes. Caltrops are a no. Candles are definitely a yes.
You're saying they keep candles here
At the
at Candlekeep?
I wasn't
Well done.
saying that.
Oh,
The chalk,
Sounded like you
100
said that.
pieces of chalk, not a problem. Crowbar, yes. Grappling hook, no. Hammer, no. Healer's kit, no. 5 clay pitchers,
Yes.
yeah, you can have those. And 2 steel mirrors.
2. Okay,
What
and I also need a mortar and pestle.
Yeah, you can have that.
You have a telescopic looking glass. One of these.
call
I
that
do
telescope.
not have one of those.
Oh,
You
libraries.
notice as he's gathering all of this stuff from the list, most of this stuff is not new. It's gently used. You kind of get the sense that his sundry trade is sort of almost a barter system.
I want to look around. Are there like, so there's obviously it's a clothier. Are there clothes all around the place?
Are there clothes?
Yeah, just are they out on display is what I'm asking.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'd like to request some lantern oil and a few rags.
Yeah, he's got some oil, a flask of oil he can spare. The rags are not a problem. He has several cuttings from various sewing projects.
Okay, great.
I am Teera doesn't need anything here, so she's just sort of kind of absent-mindedly looking around, and it happens into her brain to look for a blue cloak.
I'm sorry, can you say that? Say that one more time?
Sure thing. Yep. So she just wants to. She's just kind of looking around absent-mindedly because she doesn't really need much here, and she wants to just kind of look for a blue cloak if there would be one around, either her size or perhaps smaller.
Okay. Make an investigation check as you're perusing the racks.
It's not good. It's a 3. Not a damn thing.
After a little bit, and after getting the last of everything for Doc, and filling other requests, is there something that I can help you find?
Yeah. You wouldn't happen to it seems like some of your stuff here is vintage, if you will. Stuff you've had hanging around a long time, yeah? We all gotta make a buck, right?
Well,
Gold.
Most of the gear, yes. A lot of the clothing here is... Well, you see, as a hobby, I raise silkworms. I spin the silk, and many of these are, well, originals, if you will. I like to call them Feldmar originals.
Feldmar originals. Phenomenal.
I'm Feldmar.
Yeah, I figured. That makes sense. They're beautiful. And I'm just looking around at everything and just kind of like, it all looks really well made. Well,
I do teach classes. I teach some of the avowed how to mend some of their own clothes, so I'm not caught up doing all of that. I would be happy to teach you if you'd like to learn how to make your own clothing.
I would so appreciate that, but I don't think we have enough time. Everyone, do we have all the stuff we need? We should probably head over to the stables, yeah? See if they got that ass named Gary and then a cart. Probably.
I'm okay with that, yeah. Sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Feldspar, whatever your name was. It was a delight to talk to you.
Do you guys all leave?
I walk out, yeah.
As you leave, he's just watching you, and he just looks around at all of the stuff that's now missing, the holes in places where stuff was stored, and he just goes, "It's Feldmar."
Phenomenal.
That's great.
Phenomenal. So it's just like on a diagonal across the court of air, right? To the stables.
All the way on the other side of the court of air, you will find the Smithian stables, where you were told you could find a dwarf by the name of Kirill Hammerbind.
We're just gonna call him KH.
Yes. They will have
I, as with the others, put the name in the chat.
There you are. Kerhil Hammerbind.
Amazing.
As we're walking, Doc, I am impressed with your list. That's well thought out.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wow. That's great.
I have a number of plans for many of those items.
Yeah. You should share with me your top 5.
Okay, well, I'm going to use the mortar and pestle to grind down some chalk. And
Okay.
then I'm going to put the chalk in one of the water skins.
Okay.
And then if ever we encounter a creature that's invisible
Okay.
that we want to see, I'm going to go
Ah,
and blow the chalk onto the creature.
is that number 1?
Well, technically that was 3 things.
I see. Okay.
That's a really good idea, Doc. Never heard of that one before. Makes sense.
And then I'm going to break up 1 or 2 clay pitchers and put them in the sacks. And then if ever we're sleeping, I'll put the broken pieces of clay around us in a circle so that if anything that's coming up while we're sleeping,
You'll hear it.
it'll be heard.
Correct. Is that what you were thinking for the bell?
Well, more so if somebody was sleeping and they were on watch and then they go clang, 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 clang.
Oh,
But I did get a signal whistle. That'll serve more or less the same purpose.
Doc, people don't give you enough credit. And I quickly, make sure that Teera is between me and Doc.
Okay.
don't encourage him. Yeah, he's right, Doc. Very smart. Good plan.
What's
Walking,
Mizya
walking,
doing?
walking.
Is she like behind? Are they behind us or are they in front of us?
Mizya is just kind of at the side of the group, quietly waiting.
Mizya, if you want to get measured for a new outfit, you could go back. I bet you Feldspar over there would be able to fix you right up by the morning.
I thought he said Feldmar.
Shit, yeah, he did. Sorry.
Is it Feldmar?
I think it's Feldmar. I'm bad with names.
Yeah, it's just...
Yes, it will be fine. I will take care of it when we get.
Okay.
Yeah.
Walking across the courtyard to the smithy.
Sorry, you can be at the smithy anytime you want. You don't have to
Yeah.
roleplay walking across the
No,
courtyard.
this is the conversation.
How
we're
long
having
does it
walking
take?
across
We're
the
gonna
courtyard.
real-time travel here at
Yeah,
Candlekeep.
just walking really slowly.
7.5 minutes.
You're now halfway across the courtyard when suddenly, hold on, random encounter.
Yeah.
Roll for initiative. It's a yard bird.
Amazing. He wants your fries.
You
Okay.
Yeah, there are a lot of gulls flying overhead in Candlekeep. They'll swoop down and snatch your ice cream.
Yeah, birds are
No,
the worst.
go away.
All right, so
Yeah. We're at the smithy and or stables. Are they attached? I knew they were close.
they are between the Temple of Ogma and the Bath and Steam House. It's a building almost as large as the House of Rest, actually. It's a very large stables. They have many stalls in here, housing mostly horses, a few donkeys. There's actually kept in a stall with metal bars on it. There is a griffin that is in there. They appear to be housing the mounts of some of the people that either live here or are seekers here.
How much is it to rent a griffin?
Are you going to ask?
We can-
Is that how you walk
Oi.
in? How much to rent a griffin?
Yes, how much?
There's
How
no
much?
time to explain.
Yeah. You know what? Just put on my tab.
Yes, please. If you have the means, I highly recommend picking that up.
A dwarf with very long, pulled back into a tight braid, strawberry blonde hair, equally strawberry blonde beard, tied into braids, wearing a heavy leather apron. Comes walking around, and he sort of laughs as you're staring at the griffin, and he just sorry, griffin's not for rent. The individual it belongs to would never let it out without without her express permission, and her permission is not something she's very forthright with.
We need a cart and a mule, and I'm going to name that mule Gary.
Right. Okay.
I mean, like, if you're not too busy, I wouldn't mind getting my sword sharpened up. We're heading out tomorrow on a journey.
Ah, right. Had your fill of Candlekeep already, have you?
Well, no, they're paying us. We're going on an adventure.
Who's paying you? Sorry,
Candlekeep.
not my business.
Pretty sure,
Candlekeep?
Yeah, all of a couple people in Candlekeep said they were going to pay us to go, what else? Find a book or something.
Ah, you must be the ones Talis told me about. Right. Well, if it's a cart you want, I can get you that, no problem. Depends on the size of cart, though. Do you want a wee cart? Are you looking to haul yourselves? It looks like you've got quite a bit of stuff there.
Quite a bit of stuff. And
A bigger
probably
wagon,
one
perhaps?
plow, if we're being honest.
I've been granted authorization to give you horses if you want.
Ooh. Horses would be good.
Horses make things easier.
I mean, some of these horses belong to others, but we do keep our own horses here at the stables.
Okay.
Yeah, horses would be great. One for each of us.
Right. Now, as I understand it, you're going to be traveling for a wee bit. How long are you planning to be gone?
Well, we're headed to Baldur's Gate. That's how
Right,
far
by
that
horseback,
was.
that'll be about 5 days.
You heard me groan loudly. Could have been by boat.
Oh my God, we're gonna
Oh, yeah, you could have gone by boats. This time of year, you're just as likely to end up dashed against the shoreline as you are to reach your destination.
Just as likely to end up dashed against the shoreline as you all reached up for the destination. Vaughn.
Worth it.
By sea, it can be faster to Baldur's Gate along the coast during the summer times. But here in the spring and through the winter, they got to sail so far out into the sea, it's likely to take 8 to 10 days to get you to Baldur's Gate. By horseback, might be a little bit bumpier ride, but you'll get there quicker, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
So, 5
question.
horses. You're going to need food for them. Are you still wanting a cart?
Yeah, we're gonna need a cart, right? Right? Cart?
Right, the young man here in the lab coat has a question.
Yes, you described the size of one wagon as wee, and then you described the length of a journey as wee. Are they the same size?
Relatively speaking, something wee could be wee, depending on who's looking at it. From my perspective, a lot of things look wee. Now,
You know,
any other questions, wee man?
We
So what you're saying is that word doesn't really have any meaning?
Well, I wouldn't go deconstructing my language like that, but wee is just sort of a modifier that I throw in the pepper in my speech with it from here to there. Just a wee bit. Right, I can see you're having a wee bit of trouble understanding what I'm saying. If you want a cart, How big do you need it? Are you looking to haul just your gear? Are you looking for something pulled by a couple of the horses? Or are you going to ride all of the horses and not have a cart at all? If you're riding horses, it's going to be hard for the donkey to keep up with you. If you've got a donkey with you, if you insist on having a donkey, you're going to have to travel slower. So it could take you more like 6 or 7 days.
Doc, how about this? You seemed a little pissed about riding a horse. How about you get a horse to pull your wagon, and then you can ride him for just some of the time, and then walk him for part of the time if you want to walk so bad. And
What's
then
a
the other
mule?
4 of us, we
So
could just we don't need a mule. We could get a horse and name it Gary too, couldn't we? Doc?
No, it doesn't have the same ring to it.
Yeah, I'm with Doc on this one. Gary fits better for a mule.
Yeah. Well, whatever you guys want to do. I just want a
I
horse.
think Doctor and I will ride in the cart. If the two of you would like to ride on Beast of Burden.
There's
3 of us.
three.
Asaria's here too. Don't know why we keep forgetting about Asaria.
She's
It's
been
weird.
so
She's
very,
been
quiet. It's easy to forget. Here with us.
It's so very different than usual. She's quite talkative.
Yeah. She's got a phenomenal telephone voice. Oh, what's a telephone? Anyway. Yeah, I think we go with 2 or 3 horses. And then, well, a donkey to pull the cart, yeah? A mule. They're
A mule.
different.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
You need a horse to pull the cart and a mule behind it, right?
No.
What?
The mule pulls the cart.
I don't think you got a mule pulling a cart that's got a dock in it.
Oh. That's a good point.
That's good. At the same time, that's a good point.
That's a good point.
Listen,
The
I'm
DM
not
would
one
like
to
to
tell
see
you
it.
how to do your business, but if you're going to have a total of 5 horses, 2 of them pulling a cart, what do you need the ass for?
Okay, this is what we'll do. We'll get 5 horses. 2 of them will put the cart, and we'll put Gary the mule in the back of it.
think.
All right, this is the point where I have to insist. What is the purpose of the ass?
I think Doc just wants something to take care of. I think he just wants like a pet.
Wait a minute. Mules or donkeys?
No, mules. Sorry, the different.
An ass is a donkey, right?
Yeah, or a mule. But mules and donkeys are different. But everybody just calls an ass an ass.
Ah,
Well, if
Anyway.
you're trying to be precise about the animal husbandry of the creatures we have here, I don't have a mule. I've got 3 asses.
So
and you got a
donkey's-
griffin. Whose
And a
griffin is
griffin.
that, by the way? Is it Griffin?
A very important person, I can tell you that.
Oh, okay. Very secretive. I didn't realize being a stable hand was so secretive.
Well, that's true. You have the endorsement of Tellus of Allstay and the library. I don't know you that well to go telling you who all my clients are.
That makes sense. I'm not giving you a
I'm
hard time.
already just a wee bit suspicious of why you want to carry a donkey in a cart. I'm just trying to look out for the donkey's safety.
That donkey is going to be the safest he has ever been. No offense to this fine stable. But if Doc's taking care of it, it's going to be very safe. He's
So
already
Doc-
named it, for God's sake.
So Doc wants a donkey. He doesn't want a mule anymore.
I think Doc can subsist with a donkey.
Okay.
Doc, it's the same animal. It's Doc. Don't have that look on your face. They're the same. It's a mule, a donkey. They're all the same.
I'm going to look over at Mizya because I personally enjoy watching them get upset and over tedious things like this.
Well,
Amazing.
technically, a mule and a donkey are not the same.
Oh,
Mule is the offspring of a donkey and a horse. So,
And
mules
cannot
can't-
themselves reproduce.
correct.
Yes,
Mules are
Doctor.
infertile.
So as he said, donkeys and mules are not the same.
Yeah, you're right. You're all right. I'm super glad we pointed that out to Doc. So now we can stand here for another hour and a half and go back and
Doctor.
forth.
is a donkey good enough for you, or would you like to wait until we can find a mule?
No, I want a mule.
Very well. We will not be getting a mule yet tonight. So 5 horses and a cart, if you would please, sir.
Right. And you said you were planning on leaving in the morning?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Very well. I can have those all outfitted for you, fed and ready to go, tacked out. You'll have everything you need first light.
Terrific.
And if you
Could
want
you
to
give-
leave your sword, I'll have that
Yeah.
sharpened for you as well.
Ding. I take my sword out and I hand it to him. I'm like, here you go. Thank you.
I
Have you been
unsheath
hitting
my-
wood with this?
No, why? Well, now that you mention
I
it,
was going to say, you fought a library and you fought
Well,
a broom.
Tira's brain didn't instantly go to that. But yeah, it's a long story. I'm not sure you'd believe me if I told you. I just hand it to him.
Right. Yes, I'll take out some of these things and sharpen her up a bit.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Right.
Well, and I'll have one other question to ask you. But maybe, tell you what, it's not that important. We'll finish up our errands here and I'll come back and maybe you'll have my sword done by then if it's early.
Is there something you wanted to talk about?
Not right now. And I kind of look uncomfortably around at the other people for just a second. And I'm not right now, but in a little bit. I'll swing by. I'll swing by in a couple of hours or so. And I look up at the sky. I'm like, you're not closing up for a little bit yet, are you?
Nope. Gonna be working until after Lightfall.
Great. I'll be back in a little bit.
Lightfall. Darkfall. Sorry, this isn't Dead Man's Guide to Dragon Grand.
Amazing. I'm like, well, everyone, we probably got some other stops to make. We're back to the hearth, or
It's entirely up to
something?
you what you want to do. You can retire for the night.
I'm
Is
good
there
with
any-
retiring for the night.
Say again?
I'm good with retiring for the night.
Yeah, I think Mizya's going to turn in as well.
All right, so everybody seems to be getting ready to, you can take your meals and get all set to sleep for the night before you leave in the morning. So Teera, if there's anything else you wanted to do, then
I get my dinner. I have a couple drinks with it, and then I go back. As I'm getting ready to head back to the House of Rest.
before
I
you
go
do
back to the
that,
smith.
can you make me a con check real quick? Because you've been drinking a lot
I have had
today.
a lot to drink today.
At this
have had
point, you've
so
had
much.
4 or 5 drinks. You didn't drink that whole big cocktail,
No, I had
so
a sip of it and spit it out. It was gross.
but you've
It
had
tastes
quite a bit.
I got a 5.
You also have 36 domain dice. I'm just saying.
Oh, sorry, I got a 7. And yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and re-roll that. That's 3 to re-roll, yeah.
3 to reroll.
And then I'll go ahead and actually, yeah, I'll spend 1 more to do it with advantage.
All right, 4, 36,
4 total.
32.
Thank you guys. Preach. Nat 20. That's better.
All right, that seems more like Teera.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure
Unaffected.
before you go in to do this that you're not.
Listen here, you little shit.
Listen up, dwarf.
I'll tell you when I've had enough, you short son of a bitch. Okay.
All right, so
So
you're gonna
yeah,
go
so-
in after dark.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in when I'm done with my dinner, and Oi, Hammer Bind, you around?
You actually hear the sound of he's and you can even see because of the relative darkness. There are some lanterns lit in here. That the sparks that are flying from where he's working the stone, sharpening your sword.
Amazing. Is this near the stable area? Is it all one?
It's
space,
it's off to one
or-
side of it. Yeah, the stables and the
Okay.
smithy are sort of together.
Okay. I kind of walk up and I'm sort of like kicking some straw around. I'm like, you probably shouldn't have your forge so close to all this dry hay.
Right. Are you a forger? Are you a blacksmith?
I can. I dabble. I used to. I don't do it so much anymore.
Right. You're concerned that it's gonna burn, yeah?
Well, yeah. It's and I kind of like gesture at like there's like little piles of hay and straw and shit, like pretty damn close to the forge. And I'm just like, well, yeah.
He goes over to
he
goes over to a wall. He kind of gives a look at your sword, sets it aside. So this would make you nervous then, as he takes one of the lanterns off the wall, and he goes, "Oh,
why are you doing that? Stop! Why are you doing that?"
And then he drops it right into the hay.
And
you watch.
Dive. Yeah.
You watch. Okay, go ahead and make a dexterity check.
I want to try to like freaking pick it out of the. Yeah. Okay. And I got a 17.
You go to dive for this lantern. You do manage to get hold of it, but you see as you do, and you sort of dive and grab it, some of the oil spills out of it and across your arms and down into the hay. You are not burned, nor is the hay. As soon as the oil leaves the lantern, you watch as the flame goes, and then he's just standing there going, gotcha.
Fire in Candlekeep.
Right.
I remember that now.
Open flames on Candlekeep. Big giant library full of priceless works. The only exceptions are the hearth and the smithy, and it's contained to the flames as they're in my lanterns and as they're in my forge.
That makes sense.
So you've got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, I guess.
You should have seen the look on your face, though.
Yeah.
Right, I don't think we were properly introduced when you came by earlier. My name's Carol.
Yeah, I'm Teera. They call me the Teera of the Sun Man up north, but anyway.
What can I do for you?
Well, I had a question for you, actually. I was wondering, it's kind of a long shot. A long time ago, did you happen to how long have you been here? Let's start there. How long have you worked at Candlekeep?
Well, I've been working this forge for what is it? 15 years now.
15 years. That's a long time. Actually, so it would have been right about the time you came here then. You wouldn't have happened to have a little kid come through asking for work. It would have been little about this high, and Teera gestures at maybe a little like 5 foot tall, not even, maybe a little bit shorter than that. Would have been blonde.
There's been a few children. Few children have come by over the years. It's not often that children come here. They're not much ones for the library. Dragged along by parents or guardians on occasion, but
that makes sense.
Can't say as I've ever had a wee human boy coming in here looking for work. I remember that.
Yeah, I'll bet. Well, thanks anyway. Is my sword ready?
Not quite yet. It'll be finished in the morning.
Okay, no rush. I just figured I'd grab it if it was done. Well,
are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I was just yeah, I'm fine. And Teera turns and kind of hurriedly makes her way out of the stables.
As you're heading out of the stable, you hear after a moment, you hear the as he's gone back to work, and you can sort of see the sparks as he's back to work grinding away.
Cool. I go to bed. All
right. We are going to cut to the next day that it's already moving on towards midday. You've got 5 well-fed, saddled horses. There's a couple extra saddles in the wagon for the 2 horses that are currently pulling the wagon with Doc and Mizya. I imagine Soren is periodically jumping up to ride along in the cart, and jumping down after a while as running alongside Asaria, and you are all able to are basically traveling on the road. Now, I do need to check something. Is anybody here, specifically Teera and Vorn, skilled? Are you specifically skilled with land vehicles?
Negative.
That I know.
Would be in your tool proficiencies, or in your tool
Oh,
proficiencies.
No.
What about
Nope.
what about Doc and Mizya? Neither is Asaria. So I would like who of Doc and Mizya, I think I know the answer, is driving the cart.
Probably Mizya then.
That's
No.
not what I expected. I feel
No.
like there was a silent standoff in the morning when the 2 of them got in the cart and neither of them grabbed the reins.
The opposite of shotgun.
No, Doc
The opposite of
will
shotgun. That's
Doc
great.
will drive the cart.
I think maybe
Oh,
like
man.
Mizya grabs the whatever you call it, the
reins.
leathers and
The
the
reins.
reins.
That
And, like,
feels
has
very
them all-
precisely how Mizya
Right.
would be about it too.
Right.
Yeah,
Like
right.
it's very
Like-
awkward and
That's why Doc
Um,
wouldn't let her.
clearly
drive.
has no idea what they're doing.
So I would like everybody to make animal handling checks.
Handle animal.
Let's see.
This is a 16.
Animal handling.
Okay.
I got a 19.
6.
I need a little help in locating that on my sheet.
It's in your
Where do I
skills.
find that?
Very top of your
It's
skills.
it's A.
Mhm.
Animal handling.
Second one in your skill list.
See. Oh, there it is. Boom.
Yep.
I got it. Jeez, I have not stopped.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, you should probably stop rolling D&D Beyond and just go to real dice.
You know what?
D&D Beyond hates you.
Yes.
I'm gonna keep doing it forever and ever. So
I mean, you're due for a run.
I love your dedication to the crappy dice.
I mean,
Well, he's
you're-
right.
you're-
As soon as
yeah,
as soon as you change lanes, the other lane's going to start to go fast.
Right.
That's the
yeah, it's just the law of large numbers. That's all.
Mizya, you can tell that Doc is struggling to keep these horses moving properly. Steering the cart is difficult. The horses seem to at times almost bite at each other.
What?
Asaria and Teera, you're doing fantastic handling these horses. Vorn is also having trouble controlling his horse a couple times. Your horse just takes off ahead and then takes off running past. So your first day is a little bit slower going as you spend a good couple of hours acclimating to these animals and figuring out. But within that first day, you all sort of get the hang of it. You find the groove, and you begin your journey traveling northward. It is a little bit cooler going these few days. There's a bit of a cold front moving through. Fortunately, the rains are holding off. You have blue skies, puffy white clouds in the skies. You're traveling through for part of that first day along the Way of the Lion to the east until you get to the Coastway Road that heads north, traveling almost entirely through wide rolling hills of grasslands. You see everything has that look of late spring where it hasn't quite turned to green yet, so everything has that still sort of winter's brown about it. You hear the sounds of the wheels creaking, you hear the horses' hoofs, the whinnies, the occasional muttered conversations amongst yourself. The wind is blowing continuously, but lightly enough to keep it cool. As you are traveling for the next couple of days, Mizya, you are basically the only one that is an inactive passenger. What are you doing while you're riding along in this cart?
Mizya has actually for the first day, Mizya is looking all around and kind of excited at seeing more of the world, having spent so many years cloistered in a library. But after that first day of just kind of some, wonderment at everything going on around us, Mizya pulls out their satchel and pulls out that book that they found in that library, and starts to flip through it. Kind of just caresses the spine of the book a couple of times. Yes. Are you there?
You hear halfway between a yawn and a sigh. Yes, I am here.
Are you rested?
Yes, most wonderful rest.
Oh, yes. Well, I seem to have some time on my hands for the next few days, and I thought if you were up to it, perhaps we could get to know each other a little better.
Yes, I feel you are gifted with the weave. Do you practice the arcane arts?
I have been known to cast a spell or two. To be honest, I have been more a student than practitioner, but I have been working on that quite a bit more the last few days, if I'm to be totally honest.
A student, so you study magic. It is not gifted to you by the gods. It is not given to you by the trees and the grasses. You weren't born with it like a sorcerer.
No, it is something I have worked quite hard at.
Excellent.
Learning.
Then we can be friends. As you can see, I have many blank pages waiting to be filled with your arcane writings.
Let's not waste any time. And I kind of flick my hand out to the side, and this quill just pops into existence, and it's a black with purple lined feather quill, already dripping with ink at the tip. And I just start to scratch out in shaky grandma writing that scratch my first spell into the book.
Oh.
As you begin writing in this book and transferring your spells into this special spell book, you have this handwriting, as you described it, the shaky grandma handwriting. But you notice that your arcane words, your sigils, your drawings, as you illustrate the verbal and somatic and list out the components and such, the book seems to tidy up your handwriting just a little bit. It still looks like your handwriting, but some of the shakiness is taken out of it. Your drawings have a little more refined edge to them. And you find that you're even able to, when you draw out certain components, that with just merely a thought and a dab with your quill, the blank spaces are filled in almost like a watercolor.
I finish up transferring my spells into this book. It takes me several hours to do so. I'm talking with the book as I do so. I finish up, and I just kind of flick my wrist again, and the quill disappears. And I just kind of like lightly caress the bottom of the page that I just finished writing. The ink's already dry, like immediately dry on the page. Yes, I think we will be. I kind of look over at Doc. I think we will be good friends. Do you have a name?
You have not given me a name.
I will call you Gerald.
Gerald. I like it. We shall be best friends. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
There we go. That's perfect.
Great. Oh my God. We are kicking ass with the zing one-liner end of episode.
I love it. I love it. I'm glad in the last 15 minutes you actually got onto the road so that I can still call this episode Journey to Baldur's Gate. It's funny because after last week's session, off camera, I told them, hey, next week we're going to start with a travel montage and we'll flash back some things. I even said it today. And I realized, honestly, it was when Doc said he had a list. I was like, you know what? We're going to have to role play some things.
Oh, no.
And I'm glad we did.
So all those things were involved.
I'm so glad we did.
Always good stuff.
Yeah, this was fantastic. Thank you to everybody who showed up tonight to hang out with us in the chat or to watch and listen as you may be. I am sorry that for a brief period there, the signal got really bad. I know it was buffering quite a bit, but it was pretty short. So thanks for sticking around. A special shout out to those of you who may be lurking and not participating in chat. Hi. Thanks for being here.
Hi.
We appreciate you. You don't have to participate in chat. You don't have to tell everybody you're here. We appreciate you nonetheless. But a special shout out to all those wonderful people who gifted subs or resubbed themselves, followed the channel. We always appreciate that. We hope you'll come back for more. Be sure to tune in to Big Bearded Nerd 21 on Wednesday for the finale of our Mythos Investigators series that I have been running, Curse of the Mummy Lord, with Pulp Cthulhu rule set with Dwight and Cari, our friends Alex, M, and Karen as well. I am looking forward to killing them all on Wednesday in the finale. So they've made it this far. We'll see.
We haven't gotten a group through one of these Cthulhu games yet.
Yeah,
so.
No group has made it all the way through yet.
Not intact. at least.
This Thursday, there will not be a Dawnbringers game. We are actually taking this week off again. We got a couple people that are going to be out. So we should be back the following week with our Dawnbringers. But as I said at the top, this Friday and actually all week long, you want to tune in to D&D Jordan Lee on Twitch for the Color of Change charity stream that she's going to be doing. There we go. I did it right. And then we've also got, like I said, on Friday, I'll be running a game on that stream. On Sunday, I'll be playing a game on that stream. Dwight's going to be doing some modding during the weekend. Lots of awesome people are going to be there. Helping to raise money for Color of Change. And then this Saturday, over on Talon and Claw, you can tune in to see Flip Flop and Chop as Gary, GM Travis, Anthony, along with special guests, Jay, our good friend Jay, Neofat, and I believe D20 is also going to be participating in that. I'm very sorry that I have to miss that one. Is it Talon Claw or Talon in Claw?
I want to say it's Talon in Claw.
Talon
Nope,
in Claw.
it's the other way. Actually, I think it'll just do whatever I click. So I don't think it matters if it's right or wrong. Yeah, I think you were right. I asked you, and then I did exactly the opposite of what you said.
And it worked.
It's like when somebody introduces themselves and you're like, shit, I wasn't listening. I
Yep.
don't know their name.
So yeah, you want to check out that on Saturday. Just lots of great stuff going on.
And very, very exciting. D20 is allegedly working against me in the background with my girlfriend. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what they've cooked up, but it is going to be ridiculous. And I'm not excited about it. You should tune in.
D20 and Gary have this incredible friendly rivalry that it seems like it's one of those things that's just always been going on. So,
Amazing.
yeah, you want to be sure. There's, like I said, there's lots of great stuff going on this weekend between Jordan and stream and what's going on with the Talon and Claw stream. So be sure to check those out. I think that's it. So I want to say, as always, a huge thank you to my incredible players, Gary, and even though she's not here, Jordan, Dwight, Cari, and Ricky, without whom it would just be me talking to myself for 2.5 hours. So with that, we're going to go ahead and end this stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want.
Read Dr.